Good afternoon, everyone. We're coming with you with breaking news that Donald Trump has been indicted in New York. A Manhattan grand jury has voted to indict Donald Trump on charges involving payment made during the 2016 presidential campaign to silence claims of an extramarital sexual encounter, the first ever criminal case against a former U.S. president, and a jolt to Trump's bid to retake the White House in 2024. The indictment, confirmed Thursday by Joe Tacopina, a lawyer for Trump, and other people familiar with the matter who were not authorized to discuss sealed criminal charges, is an extraordinary development after years of investigations into his business, political, and personal dealings. It is likely to galvanize critics who say Trump lied and cheated his way to the top, and embolden supporters who feel the Republican is being unfairly targeted by a Democratic prosecutor. He said in his statement, he did not commit any crime. He will vigorously fight this political prosecution in court. The district attorney investigation centered on money paid to porn actor Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal, whom he feared would go public with claims that he had extramarital sexual encounters with him. Trump, who has denied any wrongdoing and has repeatedly attacked the investigation as politically motivated, was expected to surrender to authorities next week. Though the details were still being worked out, according to a person familiar with the matter who was not authorized to discuss the matter that remained under seal. In bringing the charges, the Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is embracing an unusual case that had been investigated by two previous sets of prosecutors, both of which declined to take it politically exposed steps of seeking Trump's indictment. In the weeks leading up to the indictment, Trump railed about the investigation on social media and urged supporters to protest on his behalf, prompting tighter security around the Manhattan criminal courthouse. Trump faces other potential legal pearls as he seeks to reinsert control of the Republican Party and stave off a slew of one time allies who are seeking or are likely to oppose him in the presidential nomination. The district attorney in Atlanta has for 2 years been investigating efforts by Trump and his allies to meddle in Georgia's 2020 vote count. And the U.S. Justice Department special counsel is investigating Trump's storage of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida and his efforts to reverse the election loss. The fate of the hush money investigated seemed uncertain until word got out early March that Bragg had invited Trump to testify before the grand jury, a signal that prosecutors were close to bringing charges. Trump's attorneys declined the invitation, but a lawyer closely allied with the former president briefly testified in an effort to undercut the credibility of Trump's former lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen. Late in 2016 presidential campaign, Cohen paid Daniels $130,000 to keep her silent about what she says was a sexual encounter with Trump a decade earlier after they met at a celebrity golf tournament. Cohen was then reimbursed by Trump's company, the Trump Organization, which also rewarded the lawyer with bonuses and extra payments logged internally as legal expenses. Over several months, Cohen said the company paid him $420,000. Earlier in 2016, Cohen had also arranged for a publisher of the supermarket tabloid, the National Enquirer, to pay Playboy model Karen McDougal $150 to squeal her story of the Trump affair in the journalistically dubious practice known as catch and kill. The payments to the women were intended to buy secrecy, but they backfired almost immediately as details of the arrangements leaked to local news media. The federal prosecutors in New York ultimately charged Cohen in 2018 with violating federal campaign finance laws, arguing that the payments amounted to impermissible help to Trump's political presidential campaign. Cohen pled guilty to those charges and unrelated tax evasion counts and served time in federal prison. Trump was implicated in court filings as having knowledge of the arrangements, but the U.S. prosecutors at the time balked at bringing charges against him. The Justice Department has a long-time policy that it is likely unconstitutional to prosecute a sitting president in federal court. Bragg's predecessor as district attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr., then took up the investigation in 2019. While that probe initially focused on hush money payments, Vance's prosecutors moved on to other matters, including the examination of Trump's business dealing and tax strategies. Vance ultimately charged the Trump Organization and its chief financial officers with tax fraud related to fringe benefits paid to some of the company's top executives. The hush money matter became known around the DA's office as the zombie case, with prosecutors revisiting it periodically, but never opting to bring charges. Bragg said it saw it differently. After the Trump Organization was convicted on tax fraud charges in December, he brought fresh eyes to the well-worn case, hiring longtime white-collar prosecutor Matthew Caholagino to oversee the probe and convening a new grand jury. Cohen became the key witness, meeting with prosecutors nearly 24 times, turning over emails, recordings, and other evidence, and testifying before the grand jury. Trump has long decried the Manhattan investigation as the greatest witch hunt in history. He has also lashed out at Bragg, calling the prosecutor, who is Black, racist against white people. The criminal charges in New York are the latest salvo in the profound scheme between Trump and his hometown, a reckoning for a one-time favorite son who grew rich and famous building skyscrapers, hobnobbing with celebrities, and gracing the pages of the city gossip press. Trump, who famously riffed in 2016 that he could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and wouldn't lose voters, now faces a threat to his liberty, or at least his reputation in the borough, where more than 75% of the voters, many of them potential jurors, went against him in the last election. All right, everyone. This is the news. This is what's happening today as far as Trump's indictment. This is unprecedented. And get in the comment section. Tell us what you think about the indictment of Donald Trump. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Bye.